You are live. I am cold. That's what I am. Alright, we'll give you guys a little bit. Show up. Give me a chance to light my pipe. And when I first see the first person show up, I'll start talking. Yeah, fucker gonna go out. There we go. Hello. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna light my pipe. Hey, good son. I'm trying to light my pipe, and it doesn't want to light. Cool. Glad to hear that, thanks. They got back to me. I sent them the live review. Which is We All Juggle Knives watched, so that was cool too. Okay. Thank God. So it's cold out here, as you can tell, and I'm wearing my hoodie. I just want to make sure this is gonna go first. Alright. So, like I mentioned yesterday, I guess, the yeah, Church Warden and the Valhalla blend. I'm gonna have to get some more of that soon. I might mix it up. Go with their Tolkien blend. There we go. But that's not for a little while. So, yeah, I haven't done any Canada's Great except for the zombies in the last couple of weeks because, ironically enough, I started in the infectious diseases department at the university. So, I have been trained for 2 weeks. Oh no, you don't, you fucker. There we go. Okay, so next one. So like I said yesterday, we're going to talk about Sarge a little bit more. But as you might have seen from the title, I put Pig Farm. I don't know how much you guys know about the Canadian serial killer Robert Pickerton, who I just want to keep calling Pig Fucker because he was evil. But he owned a pig farm in Fort Coquitlam, BC. And, well, killed 49 women. And the police thought that maybe at one point he had been feeding the meat to his pigs, which Nikki didn't believe that pigs will actually eat like human meat and stuff like that. But yeah, pigs will eat anything. Hell, still the process of feeding, or still people feed cow shit to pigs because their stomachs are more efficient. Anyways, yeah, as you can tell, I'm not really eager to get into the story, but you'll find out why in a second. There we go. Okay, so he was convicted a while back, 2002, 2005. I can't remember exactly which. But, anyways, in 2015, the Crown put a lien on his property. And there's a very specific reason for that. Now, the farm and the house and everything had already been torn down at this point. But in 2015, the government had to get involved for a very specific reason, which means my ass had to get involved. And, like I alluded to yesterday, sergeant had to get involved. So, kind of goes to show how serious it is when it's both of us. But, so what happened? It's just bright enough that I want to put this up. Except I look like a homeless man. Whatever. What happened was, got a call from Department H and from a contact over an X, and basically get to Port Coquitlam now. Now, I'm in Edmonton, so Port Coquitlam is 14-hour drive. And I asked car or plane, and they said, go to the airport. So, go to the airport. It's a private flight, which, by the way, I don't get to do very often. I charter flights up to places like Pukatawagan and stuff like that for work, but that's about it. So, we should get in the way. And if I seem irritable because I decided to make this today's tale, Mr. W decided to give me nightmares all night long. So, yeah, I did sleep until almost noon, which would normally be nice on a Saturday, but it was plagued with nightmares, which is not nice. Not nice at all. But yeah, so, and they were all about this fucking event. So I hop down to the airport, and I've got with me Mick, no, not Mick, what was it? At the time it was just a Bowie dagger, a Bowie knife, big way. And you might remember Boom Boom, which is the Thai machete that I named after my coach. So, I'm on the flight. I've got those two. I've got salt, holy water, silver, sage, because I wasn't really told what we were going to do, but I was told that equipment would be provided there, just bring my base kit. And Boom Boom I had already tested out, and I was training with it, so I thought it would be a good one. And again, you don't really know what you're up against, so trying to have something for like every situation. Anyways, you can't really land in Port Coquitlam, and so I landed in, was it Kamloops? I don't even remember. And then hopped on a helicopter. And Sarge was already on the helicopter. He had a loadout kit. He was at full battle rattle, helmet and everything, and he starts passing me gear. Now, I never served. I've been trained, but I've never served. So, I've been kitted up, but he didn't hand me a gun vest, he didn't hand me ballistic, he didn't hand me a tack vest, he handed me a stab vest, which is basically like chainmail with Kevlar over top of it, and then foam underneath it, which does keep in your body heat quite a bit. I found that out. But the foam is because when you get stabbed, it's gonna hurt. But that shit saved my life, I can tell you that much. But yeah. Now I always mention that I can't really carry guns on these things because Canadian laws and stuff like that. So active serving members. Shlomo. Sorry, man. I don't get that one. But yeah. So, anyways, I'm kitted up. I've got the stab vest on. I've got a helmet on, which I never really liked wearing helmets, but it was kind of interesting. I wear them in like paintball and stuff like that. But I got handed a gun case, and I knew it was a gun case right off the bat. Arrow cases look different, or bow cases look different, and a short case doesn't have to be that wide. I opened it up, and inside was Benelli 12 gauge in 3-inch magnums with an extended magazine in semi-automatic. folding stock, pistol grip, flashlight attachment, and a bead sight. And why do I remember all of that? Well, because I had to use this fucking thing. That's my chair, by the way. I'm not actually farting. So, Sergeant hands me this, and I realize shit's going to go sideways, because there's no way in hell I'd normally, as a civilian, get one of these. And so I ask him for a briefing, and he tells me about Pickerton, big fucker, and asks me what I know about it. And so I tell him what I know. You know, he's been convicted on, I think it was like 4 murders, 6 murders, something like that. Basically, he killed 49 women, picked them up, and murdered them brutally. Chopped up their bodies, buried them in his farm, fed them to his pigs. There are rumors that he even fed them to people, ground them up in pork meat, which is really disturbing because, and don't ask how I know this, yes, human meat and pork meat tastes similar. But yeah, anyways. And I said, well, wasn't everything all demolished and everything? Weren't all the bodies found? And the sergeant tells me there were bodies found. Oh, hello, magpie. There were bodies found, and but something else. And I said, okay, what? And he goes, honestly, we don't know. Satellite images can't get a picture of it. When you try and get on site, nobody really can get close to get this really kind of like a mixture of disgusted and scared. Like, you know, you're not supposed to be there. Like, nothing's supposed to be there. I got magpie stealing peanuts right now. The crows, I decided to send away for a little bit because this story's pretty dark. But yeah, they really couldn't push past it. And so, okay, loaded up, got the Benelli. We land just outside. Thanks. We land just outside Port Coquitlam, and we hop in the back of a truck and get driven there. Now, when I say driven there, I mean we got stopped about a kilometer away from the farm. And we had to hoof it in because nobody, not even the professionals from Department H or X, wanted to go in here. So fuck. We get to about 750 meters, 700-ish, away. A whole bunch of rattling noises from over there. Away from the farm, and you could just start feeling it. Like, it was this oppressive, like, dark, malicious feeling. Like, something didn't want you there, and if you're going to go there, it was going to eat you. And it was going to eat you the slowest way possible. It was going to eat your body. It was going to eat your soul. It was going to eat your emotions. It was just going to fuck you up. Now, big fucker was pissed off because he only managed to kill 49 women. He wanted to kill 50. Fucker shed it himself too. As you can tell, I loathe him. I absolutely loathe him. Anyways, we started getting closer. Got about half a kilometer away, and I started kind of twigging in the back of my head that I felt this sensation, a similar sensation, not anything quite as strong before, when I was dealing with the Lich. And so I started getting really kind of nervous, actually, because the only thing that I could think of that would feel like a lich was a lich, but this was just so much more. You're safe, Magpie. Go ahead. Go on. He got to about 3 feet from me, and then grabbed the peanut. There's another one right beside me, about 2 feet away. But oh, and I show you, but I gotta bring a salt around me right now because, like I said, this one's just really dark. So, anyways, um, we got to within sight of where the farm was, where the property was. Well, property still is. Um, and everything had been raised to the ground. You could see where the excavation pits were. Like they had to use like a conveyor belt and sifters, like commercial grade sifters for like gold panning and shit like that, to find all the bodies they found. And they didn't find 49. Well, the police didn't find 49. And that's one of the reasons why they think he might have ground up the bodies and everything like that. Well, about 100 kilometers away from the property, the trope is usually that you see like darkness, not even. There wasn't even like a void or anything like that you could see. It was just obscured. Like you could see things, but it was like you were seeing them through hazy glass, where on the other side it was like fog. So what we did, Sarge and I, and you'd think we would have had backup and stuff like that, but as I found out later, Sarge is also he was also different. So I guess the heads of the department have like one each or something. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But I found this out afterwards. Completely out. Found out afterwards that he was different, but that was why it was only the two of us. Only the two of us could really get through the, not really a barrier, but the miasma. Nice Japanese word. Actually, I don't know if it's Japanese, but I like it. Inuyasha, they use it a lot. Anyways, so we get close, we get to this like obscured area, and then out of fucking nowhere, we get attacked. And so everything dead there was back. We had, hello Blue Jay, there's some down there for you, or you can go for that one. Perfectly safe if you want to go with that one. So we had fucking zombie pigs. We had specters of the women, because most of their bodies have been taken away, but the ones who hadn't, there's one. I think she was like, she was probably like 30 when she died. Dirty blonde hair, still attached to the scalp in clumps, skin coming off. Her left arm was missing. It wasn't me. I was too shocked to even like pull up the Benelli. So I just kind of, I bashed her head in with the butt stuck. The Magpie and the Blue Jays are both eyeing the peanuts. But after that, it kind of becomes a blur. I asked afterwards in the after action report what was in those shotgun rounds, just in case I need to make my own. Hey, Blue Jay. You dropped it. Right? Yeah, that's exactly what it was. The desecration of the human remains that he had done. I brought out one of the most terrible fucking things I'd ever had to deal with, which was, you can tell I'm stressed. I'm smoking like a fucking chimney. And yeah, Tenchi, I'm smoking hot, I know. I'm almost out, and the bowl usually lasts me an hour, or 45 minutes at least. An elder lich. An elder fucking lich. So after I somehow expended all the rounds that was in the magazine, which was 8 rounds, I loaded up 2 more times. So that's 24 rounds. And the sergeant had gone through his entire loadout. Now he had 6 clips for his M16, and he had a Benelli as well. And I don't even know how many rounds he had for that thing. But we went through everything. Absolutely everything. And that's just a fucking blur. I remember the blonde. I remember First Nations woman because she still had turquoise earrings in and a beaded choker around her neck that was in turquoise and porcupine quills. And I remember her because I had run out of rounds. And so I took Boom Boom. And I was angry at this point already. And I took her head off with one swing. 2-handed. Step in a swing. And then, let me check. Dark story. Neighbor's coming by with his dog, so I just wanted to let him pass so he didn't have to hear it. But pretty soon after that, I mean, the sergeant was down to using a machete. Not like Boom Boom. Just a regular old, like, Ontario 18-inch machete. Standard military issue, all that fun stuff. Well, I think standard military issue. My stuff gets blessed. So it's entirely possible his stuff got blessed too. But I don't even remember afterwards. Yeah, right? But yeah, I don't even remember afterwards how many bodies they found. I know they were able to up the count officially, unofficially, never through the police, but through the departments, that he had killed 49 women, hundreds of hogs, of course. And the darkness, like, I don't even think he meant to do this. I think he was just an evil fucker, and something latched onto it as, like, an anchor point to just open some, I don't want to use the word portal, but a crack so it could come through. But yeah, all that, the desecration of human remains, the murders, the way he killed them, he wasn't even fucking humane to the fucking hogs. Like, he'd hit them in the head with a sledgehammer, and half the time they wouldn't be dead, and he would just kind of laugh and hit them again. But these were flashes that were going through my head as we started finally getting close to this thing. Now, okay, Elder Lich. What do they look like? Like nine times out of 10, you see them in like anime or cartoons or something like that. They're skeletal, and they've got, you know, like a big purple or black or dark blue robe, and, you know, like the hood's pulled down and you can barely see in, and you get this mouth and these glowing red eyes. And no, formless, sort of. It's got a form, it's got a shape, it's got substance, but it's impressions more than anything. It looked human sometimes, like a dude in a suit. Sometimes it looked like Pigfucker. Sometimes it looks like the victims. Sometimes it looks like nothing, but it's there. It's always there. And the sergeant and I no real other choice. I mean, we're in the middle of a battle. We're both fucking exhausted, and we just went in. He had a pistol. It's a Browning high power 9mm silver rounds with salt and holy water, kind of in a hollow tip. Not really a hollow tip. What they do is they kind of, it's sort of like you freeze, almost freeze dry, but you freeze the holy water and the salt together, and then they actually cast the bullet around it. I have no idea how they do it, because, but he just called them cold cast. Fired off 5 clips into that thing, and I just hacked and slashed and hacked and slashed, and we weren't really doing anything to it. It was amused. It thought it was funny that, we were fighting it. I wish I brought my flask out. More than anything, I think it was just annoyed that we were trying to fight it. But we fought that fucking thing for probably 10 or 15 minutes straight. Now, boom, boom. Right? There's no nicks on the blade. I know I cut through heads and necks and arms and other bits with this. I know that I went through what I thought was arms and legs and bellies of that fucking lich. But there's no marks on the blade. So sometimes I kind of wonder if it was real. The nightmares definitely don't help. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going at it with this. And the sergeant has his machete. He's out of rounds. And at this point, there's not really... Like, my bag of tricks is done. Salt, silver, holy water, sage, nightcap. Like, we tried everything. Almost everything. So, we're pretty much fucked. Sarge pulls out his combat knife and does the bravest and dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And those two always seem to go together. And he jumps at this thing and starts stabbing it. And stabbing it, and stabbing it, and stabbing it, and stabbing it. And he's holding on from the back, and he's doing this. And he's somehow able to hang on with just the machete digging into the back, and just stabbing and stabbing and stabbing. And the lich is laughing. This fucking elder lich is just laughing. You can hear it in your head. You can feel it in your bones. And I think the sergeant realized kind of what had to happen. More often than not, some major bad has to be taken down, and usually takes out the hero, right? The hero has to sacrifice himself. That's the way it goes in the stories, right? What they don't tell you is sometimes the hero can't do it himself. So he's hanging on, stabbing this thing, until finally he stabs behind it. And he's holding on. And he just says, "Renee, that's it. I know exactly what he wants." I didn't fucking hesitate. And I stabbed right through him, into the lich. And I passed out. Woke up. It had to have been only a few hours later. My hand was still clutching Boom Boom. I was, I don't know, 30 or 40 meters away from where all this had to have happened because I was right next to some trees. I had a medic standing over top of me, and there's full. It felt like a battalion, truthfully. There was so many people there. But anyways, it was pretty much all of Department X's and H's attack squads and the arcane research units and forensic units, and yeah, fuck. Anyways, I asked afterwards in the after action report what had happened because what they said was they didn't know that basically everyone on the outside was waiting for some word or something like that, some sign that everything had been cleaned up. So they had sensitives right on the outskirts. And when the feeling went away, they charged in. And when I say they charged in, I mean like they had Buffalo APCs. They had no tanks. The APCs are good enough anyways, like they're fucking huge. They had like full loadout, like mortar crews waiting off in the wings kind of thing. Like it's Port Coquitlam. There's a lot of forest around there, so it's really easy to hide something that big. But somebody had to just tell the town to shut down or something like that. Anyways, get caught in my head. I asked what happened to the Sarge, and they said they didn't know. They said he was just gone. Like fuckers. But anyways, they asked me what happened, and so I recounted what I remembered, and told them what I had to do, and then asked, for a file and stuff like that, so I could write down my report, and then that was about it. I hopped on the helicopter and got a ride to the airport and got flown home, and I left all my gear there. Boom Boom and the rest of my kit were given back to me later. The Bowie knife had been broken, so they gave it back to me. I said keep it. They found dog tags, so they gave me the sergeant's dog tags. No, I'm not telling you his name. I got one of them, and the rest goes to not his family. He actually didn't have one. Anyways, stop getting stuck in your head. Anyways, yeah, so the end of all that, the evil that that the fucking pig fucker had brought out, was done. Right after that, the Crown prosecutor came up with this story that there was liens and everything on his property, so they were going to seize it. So 2015, they filed the paperwork, and the property was seized. Officially, it's Crown property right now, so if you go on it, it's actually federal offense. A lot of people still try and go on it. You get like those fucked up kind of urban explorers that really want to go to like scenes of darkness and murders and so on and so forth, and usually they get to see some stuff, and then they start feeling really weird, and then they start wanting to get off, and that's really just something that was put in place by the government. So yeah, that one wasn't really pleasant, so I'm not going to say Canada's great except for the zombies in this case. But, yeah, at least that dark fucker is currently had the longest sentence in Canadian criminal history at the time. And most of his victims are at rest right now, so that's good. But yeah, Blue Jay. So yeah. Anyways, that one, as you can tell, kind of fucked up. Kind of fucked with my head a little bit. So I am going to probably just chillax for the rest of the day. Yeah, right? That's probably why Mr. W decided to fuck with my head last night. He's like, I can't beat that thing, so, here's your nightmares about it. So, but yeah, anyways, I'm gonna clear the circle of salt to let out all the neg, and fuck it, I might just go have a bath or something like that to just kind of clean myself off. But anyways, yeah, careful what you do out there, eh? So, right. But yeah, I might do up another Canada's Great, except for the zombies, just so I can get everything out. But I might film it and post it up next week or something like that. So, because the next, yeah. Anyways, we'll just leave it at that, eh, Tench? So yeah, that's gonna be about it. I'm gonna go inside and just kind of decompress, and maybe I'll work on a few things to just kind of get my brain back. Or maybe I'll go for a bike ride or stand in the rainstorm that's about to happen. So, ciao, guys.